You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 338. She stopped wanting him, and that's when he came back. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How is everyone doing? I am so excited to be here. You guys, I'm having like a blast from the past. I am so eager and excited to dive into today's episode. So, I am doing this is a part of a series where I'm bringing on Bravehearts who worked with me forever ago. Either did the Get Over Your Ex program or worked one on one with me. And we are going to do a little life update, a little life catch up. Because number one, I just want to catch up with these individuals. But number two, they're doing epic, amazing things, living their bigger and better life. And I feel like it's so important that we hear from them. So today, oh my God, I have the beautiful Purvaja. So good to see you, boo. So Purvaja was actually someone I worked with one on one, which is like iconic. This was a long time ago. So I loved the work that we did. We worked together for a longer period of time, to be honest, because we worked on getting over your ex and we worked on a couple of other things. But she has an episode, it's episode 60, How to Love Your Life Without Them, talking about how to love your life without your ex. And that was released in September of 2020.
Wild.
Crazy. So welcome, Boo. Welcome back. We're excited to have you here. Tell us where you are, what you're doing. Give us a little intro.
Yeah. Wow, it's so nice to like catch up with you and like talk about all these things again.
Yes.
Um, so I'm still in Canada. I'm based in Toronto. I'm still here. It's been 6 years now since we've last spoken, so much has happened. But I am married. I am about to have a baby like a couple weeks away.
Literally about to have a baby, you guys.
Yeah,
She's like on this call and she's like, she
it
could
could
have gone into
happen.
labor. Like
Yes,
today, maybe she goes to
exactly.
labor on our call. I don't know.
It's all possible, really. So baby on the way, we got a puppy in the house, so all really exciting things on the personal front. Like since we last spoke, I think I've made lots of changes in my career, but I'm a registered psychotherapist now, so kind of followed the path of coaching, but also therapy. And I do that privately part-time, but then I also work as like a head of HR for a tech company. So honestly, it's all people related, all coaching, therapy, like they're all intertwined. So I did stay on that track, but I just moved a little bit around. Um, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at right now.
I love it. I'm so excited. Okay, so I actually I want to talk a little bit about your bigger and better life because you just gave such a little great update of like where you are, which you 6 years ago, was this your bigger and better life?
I think having a family for
Hmm.
sure was, and like
Yeah.
settling down. So that part of it was, but I
Hmm.
don't think I ever imagined it in the way that it is today.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I had a concept of what I wanted. And when I started working with you, like I knew this is where I wanted to get to.
Hmm.
But one, the way I got here and what I have today, probably not something that I thought about. Professionally, definitely not, I don't think.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
different.
that's so good. What
Yeah.
would you kind of tell yourself from the past? Like, what would you go back and tell past you about bigger and better life and kind of where you were and what your expectations were and all the things?
Um, I think one of the big things I would tell myself, and I have so much empathy for my past self, and honestly, I do have a friend of mine or someone I know who's going through a similar situation to me. And one thing I wish I could tell her is like, you've got to get a grip of yourself mentally first. Like, don't worry about anything that you're doing. Like, you don't have to break up. You don't have to get back together. You don't have to take the job. Like, don't worry about the physical thing. like take care of yourself mentally, see what's going on first, and then those things will just come and they'll happen naturally. And I was so resistant to that back then because naturally, in the way that our world works, we need to do the thing and then
Yeah.
mentally catch up to it. But I think I've learned to work the opposite way, and it's done nothing but just benefit me.
Girl, I remember that about you actually, as you recall, as you said that. I'm like, I kind of forgot about that for a second, but as you recalled that, I was like, oh my gosh, you were a very much like, do. What do I need to do? What is the action I need to take?
Yeah.
What about the A line, Dorothy?
Yeah, 100%.
Um, so good. That's such a great realization. Okay, I want to kind of take a beat. Let's talk about your heartbreak because you had gone through a breakup and you actually ended back up with your ex, which I'm like super excited to talk about.
Yeah.
And now your ex is your husband.
And dad to be. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
I love, love, love this. Okay, so tell me all the things. How did that transpire? Like, what do you feel like allowed you to have a completely brand new relationship and end up with the happy ending that you wanted before, but with the same person?
Um, well, I think first and foremost, I never imagined it would, like, I never expected it to be with the same person. So I think that's how we ended up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we were just chatting. I think I found you where we started working together. Going back to my original point, I did the thing where I broke up with my now husband,
Yep.
um, because we got the timelines are a little bit messy now because it's been so long, but we essentially had gotten back together and split up a few times. So it wasn't just once, all for the same reasons, where I wanted to settle down and have a family, and he was not ready to for his own personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kept going back and forth a few times. And then the final time that we broke up before officially getting back together, I think that's when we started working together. And so I had done the thing, which was I broke up with him because logically I knew that was what I needed to do, but I wasn't able to move past it. So I really just wanted to get back together with him and thinking that breaking up with him would like lure him back or, like set up in
Mm-hmm.
that kind of scenario. Um, so working with you, I think I realized that like I got to the place where I wanted to get to, which was I don't need him back. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I started thinking about myself. And so probably where I was when we were working together, it was like, and I said this actually in my previous podcast with you, I was like, find me the guy. Like I want to be with someone in the next 3 months when we're done working together. But I think what I found is when we stopped working or we finished the 3 month program together, it was really not about anyone else. It was just about me. And I think I just started getting excited about my own life. Um, and we went to work on professional stuff together, right?
That was so fun.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was really fun. And so I started getting excited about that and almost like forgot about the settling down. Not that I didn't want it, but I wasn't in such a rush or an urge to have that.
Oh, so
Um,
important. It's only when you release attachment to it does it come to fruition.
yes. So actually funny that you say that. Now I'm a therapist and I work with people, but
Yeah.
to this day, like the biggest thing that you and I have worked through that I still hang on to is this whole theory of attachment versus commitment. Um,
Mm.
and we had, I don't know if it's a week in the Get Over Your Ex program or not, but like we had spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
And the moment I stopped attaching myself to my ex, where it was I want to get back together with him. I want to be with him and stuff like that. And I just committed to the idea, I remember this so clearly, but committed to this idea that I know I'm going to be with him in the future because if I go into our history, like there was nothing wrong with our relationship. It was just we were on different timelines. And so I committed to the idea that I know I'm going to be with him. It's in my gut. I trust it. I just don't know when it's going to happen, and that's okay. And so I'm going to live my life in the way that I want to live it without him. And eventually, we're probably going to find our way back to each other because I just trust it. Like I just felt it. And
Oh,
so
good.
that mentally released so much for me. And that's when we really started ramping up my
Mhm.
other side of things, right? And like professionally and all that kind of stuff. So like this whole commitment versus attachment thing was huge, is still huge. And we use it, I use it in my everyday life, like now too, which is
Yeah.
great. But anyway, so we split up. Can't tell you when we got back together, to be honest, but it's
Yeah.
now been like 5, 6 years. But we did our own thing for a whole year. And so he had his own things that he needed to go through. And I obviously did mine. I actually dated some other people. He did as well, but we always kept in touch. And when we did the podcast last, that was the time where we were keeping in touch. And so met up every so often just to see how we're doing. And then one fine day, it just turned into a conversation of him coming to me saying, look, I think I've worked through what I needed to work through. And I want to be with you. Like, I want to start a life together with you. I want to do all of the things that I said I wanted to do, or you said you wanted to do, and I wasn't ready for. Um, I
I
did
have
nothing.
chills.
Yeah, I did zero work. I didn't convince him. I didn't sit there and try to tell him, look how good my life is. Look what you're missing out. I did nothing. And then all of a sudden, Dorothy, I was dating a new man. And this is why it's funny where you're like, oh, you're dating your ex. I'm like, I'm not. I'm dating someone
Hmm.
completely different. Like,
Yes.
he wanted to
Hmm.
get engaged. He wanted to get married. He wanted to have babies. Like, it was so, I was dating someone new. And I was new
Yes.
too.
Hmm.
And so I think that was the biggest switch is that I actually didn't have to do any work
Hmm.
versus when we first started, I was like, oh, maybe if I do all these things, it will bring him back in.
Yep.
Um, and so yeah, we're happy here. Almost 10 years of knowing each other, like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And really just living this life where I would have never imagined it would be the same person. Like it really was a different ex that I was dealing with when we were working together.
Oh, I get chills. Okay, everyone, I want you to hear this. I need you to hear this, right? We can have new relationships with the same person,
Yeah.
right? And I do believe that that's possible, but it starts with the same steps. You have to get over your ex to get to this place. You have to get over your ex to get your ex back. And I think I love talking to you guys about getting your ex back because I don't think it's talked about enough and everyone just shames you telling you you shouldn't want him back. But I'm like, I'm willing to have the conversation with you, but the steps are going to be the same and you will have to move through releasing the attachment and getting to a place where your life is good regardless of who's in it. And when you do, you will have a completely new kind of relationship, whether that's with your ex or somebody new. And even if it's with your ex, just like listen to how she said that, he's someone new. Because
Yeah.
she's new. She's different, which then creates a completely different partnership.
Yeah. And I think that last part is so important. It's the confidence that you build. I turned into someone different where um like you just start attracting different people into your life, right? And different energy into your life and different personality and all that kind of stuff. So to your point, I also feel like because of my story, there's nothing wrong in getting back with your ex, but when you're talking about that as your only intention, that's not the way to do it. It's fully releasing yourself and operating in a way that you don't need to be with your ex. You kind of hope and want, and maybe that will be great one day. But also, if it doesn't happen, that's fine too. Like, you know, you're going to find something anyway,
Yeah.
whatever that is. And so I think that's a big thing is like I turned into someone different that was maybe more allowing or more accepting of him to be who he is, which allowed him to work through whatever he needed to work through.
Yes. Oh, chills. I love
Yeah.
it. So good.
I will also add on actually one
Tell
more
me.
thing. But one of the things that I didn't expect to, I don't know if I want to say revert back to, but revert back to, is when I started working with you, we talked about confidence and being okay on your own. And you start to think like, okay, I don't need anyone. I'm good on my own, which is great. I love that feeling. And I still have that feeling. But when we got back together, and now, like 6 years later, I have almost learned to depend again, to be dependent on a relationship and on this person but in such a different way. Like I'm not scared of dependency versus before when I was dependent on him, my whole personality, my whole life relied on that. But now there's, you talk about this all the time too, but like calm confidence. There's like this confidence in me where I know I'm okay on my own, but at the same time, I now have this person where I can rely on and I can be dependent on. And I can be in this like wife era where all I want to do is sit on the couch with him and not be social with people and
Hmm.
be fine with it, right? So
Yeah.
I think reverting back to this dependency is something that I didn't expect, but truly I love it.
Yes. And here's the difference in my, and I would be curious about your take on this, but for me, um, we've released attachment to needing someone. And so it doesn't mean that you don't create an amazing partnership. Like we are human beings who are here who are meant to co-regulate and lean on one another and be in groups with people and like build your family unit and build intimacy and all of that stuff. I think all of that is so important. But when you do it from a place of not feeling attached, you're not scared of losing it because you know you can recreate whatever you want to create on the back end. Not saying, but you still want to have that partnership. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like obviously, I don't want anything to happen to my relationship or my
Right.
marriage and stuff,
Hmm.
right? And I will fight to keep it and all the
Yeah.
things that you want to do when you're in a solid
Hmm.
relationship. But if anything does happen where it eventually doesn't work out for whatever reason, I still have the confidence that I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be torn up about it. I'm going to be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like there's no denying that, right? And that's
Yeah.
the difference. I think I thought before that I need to be in a place of even if a relationship doesn't work, it's like, screw them. Like, I'm going to go and find someone else and be totally fine. But now it's this version of like, no, I'm going to be upset about it and I'm going to be super heartbroken. But I also know that I'm going to be fine. Right.
Yeah. Ah,
Yeah, it's
I
a big
love
difference.
so good. I love that. Okay. So tell me a little bit about you're about to be a mom. I mean, are you so excited? This is huge. Huge, 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 huge. And I'm curious, what I guess I just want to know all your thoughts about being a mom. Have you used any of the tools that we used when it comes to being pregnant, anticipating being a mom? What are the biggest things that maybe you would go back and tell past you now that you're getting the family that you wanted? Like, I'm just curious all around. Update me on anything and everything with mom.
Yeah. I use your work, like, or if we want to call broader thought work, every day, but I don't use it in the same way. Uh,
Yes, tell
I
us.
think I used to use it, and you know this, but I was probably your most like annoying person to work with because I would
No,
send
I
you
loved you.
messages like every day about all the homework that I did. And actually, it was so funny. We cleared out the office, and so I went for the nursery and I found all my journals on thought work. And there's like 6 full journals on like my thoughts and models and unintentionals and intentionals and stuff like that. And so I used to write notoriously every single day, sometimes like 2, 3 times a day.
Mhm.
But I think I did that to really train my brain to use unintentional and intentional models and make the switch. Like I really, it was what do we call it? It was like a habit that I needed to form, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Once I created that habit, there's like no going back. I can't not do thought work now. But the difference is it just happens in my head. And I
Yeah.
think I just do it naturally and I do it verbally. Like when I'm talking through something with my husband because I'm going through something, I just naturally journal something verbally or like it happens in my head.
Yeah.
And so I think I use it in every aspect of my life, whether it's work, especially in my pregnancy. I didn't have a great first trimester mentally. And so this was a huge thing that I used to essentially allow myself to be as low or as like low energy as I needed to be. Like there was just so much thought work involved. And actually, I did pick up a journal in my first trimester because I felt like I needed it.
Yep.
So I did use it in my pregnancy, and I use it to this day with my husband in any situation that we're in. If we're having a family relationship issue, or we're struggling at work, or even with this baby, if like knock on wood, nothing went wrong, but if something did, I
Mhm.
probably would have used it there. So
Yeah.
I do think you do this work for a specific reason, a specific moment in your life and situation. It stays with you for life. And it's like riding a bike. I cannot unlearn this now. It
Yes.
just shows up differently.
I love that. That's so good. And honestly, I love the fact that you brought up like using it with your partner or using it with your husband. I feel like that's been one of like the biggest blessings in my life is being able to have those open conversations because I think um and even like just in marriage, there's so many ways to communicate and for me so far the best way to communicate is using these principles from thought work, honestly, in general, of
Yeah.
just saying, here's what I see happened. Here's what I perceived to happen. Here was my interpretation of it. This is the feeling that I had because of this interpretation. Are we seeing things the same? Are we perceiving them the same? Where
Yeah.
is like the disconnect? Because when you do that, it allows us both to like learn from each other and like choose different. And it's just been so helpful in a relationship, honestly.
Yeah, and you're also more intentional about what you say, right? Like if I think back to the beginning of our relationship, I felt this urge to just blurt out everything I was saying because I thought that he could fix what I was thinking or how I was feeling, sorry.
Yes.
So if I just told him why I'm so mad at him or why I really need him to commit to me or why it's so important, like, you know what I mean? If I just verbally told him everything, then he would understand how I'm feeling and maybe then he would have his own thoughts and he would come around. Versus now where, I mean, we still fight and we argue and all those kinds of things, but now in the moment, rather than like talking about it, I take a second and I'm like, hold on, like what's actually going on here? And then you're able to communicate in a way that's just so much more constructive. And rather than saying your F line, right, and your unintentional model about why you're so upset, you kind of go into your intentional one of what you want to communicate and find words from there. And it just kind of results in a better back and forth dialogue to get through whatever you need to get through.
Yes. Oh, so good. I love you so much. I am curious a little bit about what are you looking forward to most in this next season? Is there anything that you're like excited for or looking forward to?
Um, I am looking forward to, I think, so we work together. I think when we work together, it really kickstarted this career aspect for me and like being a career girl and very motivated in that area. And I think I've always just operated in that mode since then. And I don't really know what life is like not working.
Mhm.
Um, and so, what's it called? It's like, oh, I'm not on social media enough now. But you know what it's called where you're like in your husband era or something, where you're just like fully dependent on a home life or
Oh,
like
yes. Yeah, no, I
mom
love
life
this.
era. I forget the word.
Yeah. I love it.
There's
I
a
don't remember
thing.
the word, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I think I'm just excited to define myself differently now. Like
Yeah.
I'm so confident. I know I have a career, like I can go back to it and all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited to live this life now where I am going to be about home and baby and my husband and like making our family happy and like who am I in a home life? And I don't think I've ever taken time to know that about myself, right? Um, I think I always saw that as a weakness, to be completely honest, before.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, hell yeah, give it to me. Like, let me see what
Yes.
it's all about.
I'm getting teary-eyed. I'm like, yeah, because you have been fully in your boss babe era and like crushing that and killing that. And so I do like I feel like once I got pregnant, I felt that way as well of just like I fully shut down shop for a while for like not as long as I think other people in other countries get.
Yeah,
Do you get like a year?
a full year.
That's
Yeah.
so amazing. Such a blessing. And so, but I just loved like relishing in the moments of just being like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom, pulling the stay-at-home mom vibes, and it feels good, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
lean into that. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And creating like your own thing from it, right? Like staying at
yeah.
home, not necessarily meaning doing nothing at home, but like if I wanted to 6 months from now start something on my own or
Yeah.
like take my practice somewhere, like that's still an option too. Like I don't have to, similar to how you don't go back to your life with your ex, like your bigger and better life. Like there's
Hmm.
probably a bigger and better life for me too, 12 months down the road. I just don't
Yes.
know what that is yet, right?
So
Yeah.
giddy. So giddy. Oh, girl, this is such a great catch up. Thank you so much for taking the time, for coming on here. I know the listener is going to be so happy that they get to catch up with you, see where you are now, 6 years later. So
Wild.
exciting. Um, I guess I'm curious, is there anything else that you want to share that we didn't cover?
Oh my God. I feel like there's probably so much. I said this in the podcast too, but I'm going to end and be like, oh, I should have said this. Um, I don't know. I think like the biggest thing that just comes to me is you just don't know. Like you have no idea what's going to come 6 years from now. I mean, it's set up or 10 years from now or 2 years from now.
Mhm.
Um, you're not meant to know, and I think that's the whole point. But it truly is a world which you would have never imagined. And I like put myself back in the place when we started working together or when I realized that my ex was not ready to be in a relationship with me. And it was so painful and so like you feel so stuck and you can't see through it at all. And I think it's just yeah, like you gotta hang in there. Like you've gotta commit to yourself. Like I said, like mentally take care of yourself, put yourself first, forget about the world and what's gonna happen. And put yourself first in taking care of your mental stability. And like I promise those things just kind of fall into place and in ways that you really don't imagine.
And they're
Um,
so much better. I feel like the ways that end up formulating, I'm like, I can see why I didn't have this before. Like, I keep going back to certain situations where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I remember so badly wanting a child. Now that I have a child, I'm
yeah,
like, it is so clear to me that that version of me was not ready to have a
yeah,
child.
yeah.
Um, there was only one coach who had the balls to tell me after my miscarriage that I wasn't ready to have a kid. And I'm like so grateful for her. But it took like, I'm like, I can't imagine telling someone who just had a miscarriage that they're not ready to have a.
They're not ready.
Oh my God. It was like so painful, but I was like glad that she told me because I started looking at it and finding the truth in it. I'm like, there's so many ways that I am not ready. Like, I don't even know why I want a kid. I had to sit down and like really like think and look at all that. So every time I do finally get what I want or like get to the place where I have what I thought I wanted, it really, I can see why past me didn't have it. And then the way that it unfolded and the timing, I'm like, I'm so glad that it worked out the way that it actually did, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think it like the moment you know if it comes from a place of urgency, like if it comes from a
Mhm.
place of like, I want it right now. I know I want a kid. I know I want a
I
family.
have to have it. Hmm.
Yeah, that's when you know you're not ready.
Yeah. Hmm.
But when it comes from a place of, I know I'm going to have it, I'm ready for it whenever it does happen, like I'm setting myself up so that it can happen, but I don't need it tomorrow. Like it's a very
Hmm.
different space that you're in, right? So for me too, like now, if something happens in my life where I feel very impulsive and I feel very like, nope, need this to like happen right now. And honestly, it's like a pregnancy thing that everything needs to happen like right now.
Yeah.
Um, but even in those little moments, I'm like, hold on, take a step because it doesn't really need to happen right
Yeah.
now, right?
So
Um,
good.
so yeah, so that's a big one too.
Oh, girl, I love you so much. I love you so much. And thank
It
you so
was
much
so
for
great to catch up.
seriously, seriously. And I don't know, like I, I just it's been so long that we've been on a Zoom together and I just have to tell you like you're just so grown up. Like I feel like so much maturity like through
Yeah.
everything that you're saying and it just oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And that might be cheesy and cliche, but I can't not say it because I just remember past you and I just love you. I'm so glad that you created everything that you ever wanted. And I saw this the whole time.
That's what they always say, you know? And I honestly think it's impossible to not mature. Like, it's just, you can't sit there, especially in working with you, and like seeing yourself 10 years from now and say, oh, I didn't move, I didn't make any progress. It's just not possible.
Right? Right.
Um, you're gonna move, you're gonna mature, you're gonna do different things in life and whatever it might be. So you might as well be intentional about it, right? And try to
Yes.
get the best that you can.
Be intentional about it. I like that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I love you, Boo. Thank you so much for coming on.
It was so nice catching up. Okay.
If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.